A couple of years ago now, Nissan created the N-Trek Warrior. They worked with Premcar to create the best Navara we've ever had with bespoke suspension and off-road tyres. So in 2021, when Nissan gave the Navara range a facelift and gave the car a whole new look, it was a dead certainty that they had to bring back the Warrior nameplate. What they've come up with is the PRO-4X Warrior, and once again they've worked with Premcar to give us a really good off-road focused Navara. We've got the PRO-4X Warrior out here in the Victorian bush. Give it a run, see if it really is a challenger for the Ford Ranger Raptor. The PRO-4X Warrior was again developed with Premcar in Melbourne. The biggest part of their engineering was on the suspension, where they've actually softened up the suspension over the standard Nissan tune to give it better ride, more supple, compliant suspension package. To give it that more supple and compliant ride, they've gone with a 6% reduction in the initial springs, but 16% in the second stage of the spring. Like all PRO-4X Navaras, the Warrior is an all-coil spring, which is quite unique in the world of 1-ton utes. Part of the Premcar package is bigger shock absorbers with increased oil capacity, increased rebound and compression dampening. Longer bump stops help take the load out when you come over those bigger jumps and bumps to give you better shock absorption when you hit the maximum compression. PRO-4X Warrior suspension package takes into account the extra weight of the steel front bumper bar with or without the worn winch fitted, which is a factory option from Nissan. To help accommodate this, the Warrior gets a 100 kilogram extra added to its GVM. The big difference between the Warrior and the regular PRO-4X is in the suspension, which was all developed by Premcar here in Australia. And while it's good for the low-speed off-road stuff, it's better on this stuff where you've got up a bit more speed, controlling the bumps, soaking them up a bit better, and giving you better all-up control over the vehicle. Now this is still only 40 km/h stuff, but these whoops are pretty harsh. In fact, this tractor is made for dirt bikes. It's not really the best thing for this sort of terrain, but you can feel here where this is so much better than a regular Navara suspension. Going over those whoops there, it would have been finding the bump stops on a regular non-Warrior Navara. It's really much better controlled, and a semi-factory back package really makes a bit of difference for someone who does regular off-road driving. And while you might say you don't need to be driving really fast on bumpy off-road tracks, it's true, the extra suspension control really benefits you when you're driving on higher speed gravel roads, where the added control and poise and firmness of the suspension delivers you in a more relaxed, safer position. You get to your destination after eating out those long outback kilometres in better condition, both you and your car. You feel now we're getting up 70, 80 kilometres an hour, and this Navara PRO-4X Warrior has got plenty of poise, plenty of control over these rougher roads. The Premcar developed suspension for the PRO-4X Warrior, really a springs and shock absorber package. It's designed to work with the bigger wheels and tyres, the heavier weight of the steel bumper over the front, and also takes into account if you're fitting a winch. It's designed to accommodate that extra weight of a winch over the front bumper bar. It does a great job of controlling the car over these rough gravel roads at speeds 80, 100 k's an hour, soaking up the bumps, giving you more stability through corners and over rough terrain. Not only is it great for off-road use, but outback touring as well. Ford started the trend with these factory hot-rodded 1-ton utes, and they did a great job with this Ranger Raptor. Its suspension is really a bespoke package. The rear end is totally different to a regular Ranger. It's got a coil spring setup adapted from the Everest wagon. Ford Performance worked with Fox Racing to get shock absorbers to suit, using development from the DAC. Ford Performance used Fox Racing to develop the shock absorbers using knowledge they have from running the Baja race in Mexico. And that experience shows driving around this bumpy track, it is much more controlled than the Navara. The wider wheel track, the dialed in shock absorbers, it's a proven package. Really gives you much more control and a smoother ride over these sharp bumps. In fact, we're driving around here probably 5 kilometres an hour quicker than we were in the Navara. It's chalk and cheese, but the Ranger Raptor is probably $20,000 more to buy than the Navara, so it's a very different vehicle. Once again, the bespoke suspension that's in the Ranger Raptor is just as beneficial on the high speed gravel roads. Gives you a much more comfortable ride, better control of the vehicle. Really makes a big difference when you're driving a car for long hours on outback roads where the rough terrain can really take its toll on the driver. This makes it so much easier for drivers and passengers. Less wear and tear on the car as well. The Ford Performance Fox Racing developed suspension package under the Ranger Raptor is so good, it really puts this vehicle in a different class to any other one-ton double cab ute on the market. It set the standard for these high performance utes and there's still nothing gets anywhere near it. Big bonus for the Pro-4X Warrior when you're comparing it to a Ranger Raptor is its payload and towing capacity. The payload with the 6-speed automatic as it is here is 952 kilograms. Get more with 961 if you get the 6-speed manual gearbox. That's another bonus as well. You can get this car with a manual, which we love. And the Warrior, like all Navaras, tows a full 3,500 kilograms. Once again, like the normal Pro-4X, the Warrior is powered by the bi-turbo 4-cylinder 2.3 litre diesel engine. It is a modest 140 kilowatts and 450 newton meters. So it's pretty average in the way it gets there. It's not up there with the likes of the Ranger Raptor with its 500 newton meters, but it gets along all right for what it is and it really works well with this vehicle. You can get it with a 6-speed manual gearbox or a 7-speed automatic as we're driving here. Being based on the Pro-4X model, the Warrior gets a full leather interior. The only difference really is the Warrior embroidery on the headrests. Those leather seats are manual adjustment. It's a bit disappointing not to get electric adjustment or heating or cooling on what is really the halo model for Nissan. Part of the Warrior package is its bespoke alloy wheels, which give it a wider wheel track and look pretty good. They're wrapped in Cooper all-terrain tyres and combined with the suspension package give a 40mm increase in ground clearance. That's 260mm in total, pretty good for a 1-ton ute. Externally, the only things that differ the Pro-4X Warrior from the normal Pro-4X model are the fender flares, the bespoke wheels and the steel front bumper. The flares and front bumper are options if you wanted to put them on your regular Navara, but you can't get the bumper colour-coded like you do here on the Warrior. In fact, that paint was specially developed by Premcar and PPG paints to give the shine and appearance of a painted coating with the hard endurance of powder coating. The Nissan Navara Pro-4X Warrior. Is it really a challenger for the Ford Ranger Raptor? Well, I don't know if it is, but it is a very different car. The Pro-4X Warrior, it's going to cost you around 70 grand, 69,990 as it is with the automatic transmission. Where a Ranger Raptor X these days, it's going to cost you 90. So there's a lot of difference there. The Ranger has better quality suspension and really handles those high-speed off-road stuff better than anything else, but it's a different car again. The Navara itself, it's the best Navara we've ever had. Rides better, drives better, suspension is really well set up. And the big difference is, if you've got a ute and you still want to tow 3,500 kilos, this will do it, where a Ranger Raptor won't. It carries heavier loads too. So this is a more working class ute with high quality suspension. You can take it anywhere around Australia. It's a great thing and really pretty good value for money when you compare it.